Today on Make It Bake It, we are going to learn how to make the elusive gluten-free pie crust. Let's get to it. Today we have 2 recipes in one video. Of course, we are making an apple pie, but what's a pie without a crust? So check out both recipes on our website. Both links are in the description below. Let's get started with the pie crust today. First, we're going to mix the wet ingredients. In a bowl, you need to add the eggs, the vanilla, and the lemon juice. Whisk it together and then set that bowl aside for later. We're going to add it all to the dry in just a few minutes. Next, we are pulling out the food processor to do all the work for us. Start by adding the flours. We are using sorghum flour, sweet rice flour, potato starch, tapioca starch, and white rice flour. Then add the cellulose, sugar, and salt, and pulse to combine it. Add the butter and pulse to combine until you get a sandy texture. Add the wet ingredients, and once again, pulse away. At this point, your dough might still be too dry. Fix it by slowly adding cold water while pulsing. Add just enough water that the dough holds together when you give it a little squeeze. Turn the dough out and knead it together. Divide it in half, mush it into 2 discs and wrap them in plastic wrap. Refrigerate at least for 1 hour. While the dough is refrigerating, we'll work on the apple filling. If you're just here for the crust, skip on ahead. We won't take it personally. Start by peeling the apples. Then trim the ends. Core the apples. Slice the apples in about 1/4 inch slices. It really helps to have a mandolin here or some super chefy knife skills. Add the lemon juice and mix it up. Get in there with your hands, it's much easier. Add the cinnamon, the salt, the nutmeg, the sugar, and mix it all together so all the apples are coated evenly. Now we are going to move on to the stove. Melt the butter over medium heat. Add the apples and stir to coat them well in the butter. Cook it for about 15 minutes or until the apples are fork tender. The reason we are cooking the filling now is so that it doesn't shrink all the way later when you bake it. We are going to thicken up our filling by combining cornstarch and water in a bowl. Add it to the apples and bring it to a simmer. Then remove it from the heat. Rolling out a gluten-free crust is a challenge because there just isn't any gluten to hold it together. You are going to need some plastic wrap for that. Now we have to get the crust into the pie pan in one piece. Put the pie pan on top of the dough. Slide your hand underneath the plastic wrap and quickly and fearlessly flip it over. Press the dough into the pan. Trim off the excess dough with the rolling pin and clean up the edges. Roll out the top piece to be about a 1/2 inch bigger than the top of the pie pan. Pour the cooled apple filling into the pie pan. Do your cool flipperoo thing again, putting the top crust on. Trim away the excess dough, leaving about a 1/4 inch dough around the whole outside edge. Fold this excess under itself. Then crimp the edges together to make a pretty pie design. Cut 4 slits into the top of the pie in order to let some steam out so that your pie doesn't blow up in the oven. Brush on some egg wash and sprinkle sugar on top. Bake the pie at 425 degrees Fahrenheit for about 45 to 50 minutes until it is golden brown. Hope you liked today's video and you can conquer pie crust too. If you did, like the video, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Ciao. Today on Make It Bake It, we're going to learn how to make the elusive pie crust, gluten-free. Let's get to it. Today we have made apple pie. We hope you liked it. If you did, like the video, follow us, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Ciao!